Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Are we good on sound? Hi, Christine. Can you hear me okay? No sound yet? All right. Thank you very much. I want to welcome you to today's Supernatural Saturday. Very exciting. The energy has been just absolutely intense. They've set things up that we would run a little bit late because of a number of factors involved in the amount of emotional energy on the planet today that's involved in the subject that we're going to be covering today, that the divine group has brought through for us. And it's very, very, like I said, my body's literally like shaking with energy right now. And today's subject is about COVID-19 and the transformation of humanity. Basically, we're going to be moving into a whole other state of being. All of our old past emotions are being released. And I'm just going to wait a few minutes for everybody to get a chance to come on, because like the energy is really high and I have to step back and just dial myself down because I can get caught up in the intensity of their energy. Let's see, here we go. Wow. So how's everybody doing today? How's everybody enjoying the changes that are going on the planet? They're pretty profound. The things that are happening are just absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We have been, as a species, for many thousands of years, storing all of our past emotion, our hurt, our pains from wars past, the pain from demolished civilizations, our anger, our frustration with ourselves, with each other, for many thousands of years. And we've brought this event into our lives called COVID-19. It does not matter what conspiracy theorists say about it. It does not matter what politicians say about it. In the last analysis, the truth is humanity has been given this opportunity to release all of the unconscious emotions of fear and anger and guilt and shame from our unconscious and move to a place where we begin to restore ourselves back into a conscious way of being in a state of love and grace, to be able to release all our old dense emotions and move into the present. So it's going to be a very, very interesting show today as we get into this. Yes, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I've actually been really enjoying this time. And they've been telling me this all week, saying this is a real opportunity for humanity to reconnect to each other on a global scale. They said this is happening on a global scale. Humanity has had to come together in a way it has never come together before. It's really quite amazing that we have been forced by this little tiny virus into releasing all our fear and our uncertainty, and then coming together as a community, as a global community, regardless of political divides. Every single country on this planet reacted. One of the things they have also been telling me is that if it wasn't for technology that's evolved over the last 40 years, if it wasn't for the technology, things would have gotten really, really ugly because people would not have been able to communicate very fast with each other. So this virus has been basically stopped in its tracks, but it's produced the release. It's produced the release from our collective unconsciousness of the fears, the anger, the frustrations that we all hold inside collectively. And our ability to be willing to release these emotions from our systems, from our bodies, from our mind, to be willing to release them. They're saying there's great fear and stress on the planet for those who are attached to money and those who are attached to control and power. There's a lot that is being taken away from them. They're saying, do not allow yourself to go into a state of fear. You will see many people, many governments, and people in great positions of power begin to execute a generosity, a kindness, a compassion, an understanding for one another that has not been seen on this planet for many centuries. You have the opportunity now to begin to open yourselves up to restoring love as the dominant way in which you interact with each other, to reduce these concepts of separation and self-protection that have kept you living in separation from each other. There's only one race on this planet. It's called the human race. Although it has many different forms in which it expresses, the human race is one collective organism that was intended to work together harmoniously. And you find yourselves amid this struggle finding a way to enjoy yourselves again, to find peace. But you cannot find peace in suffering. You can only find peace in love and in joy and in caring for one another. The very thing that you have all been asking for has now unfolded. At this time, you now have a peaceful planet. You see animals and birds and people doing things they have not done in a long time. You have great opportunity here to interact with, to open your hearts to one another, to put aside your economic fears, to put aside your issues of control and power, to embrace one another in the spirit of unity, in the spirit of love, while also acknowledging and accepting the unique differences that are in each of the different species and subspecies of the human race. You have a glorious opportunity here to reflect. As many of you find yourselves in places of isolation, take this time to go inside and rebuild peace and love in your mind and in your heart. Try to rediscover those things that give your life value and meaning, things that you have not done for a long time, that you've missed, or things that you've sought to do that you have not done. Do them now. But most importantly, each of you take the time to go inwardly, find peace and quiet inside, to restore your mind and body to the divine ship of your being, that place of love that is truly who you are. You are not that body that you are in. That body is just an instrument that you use to express your being through. You are not those thoughts in your mind. Those thoughts are things that you have acquired, interpretations of reality given to you, created by you. You can change those. You can release those. Those emotions are mostly from your past. Your fear, your anger, your guilt, your uncertainty, they are not from who you are. They are from what you remember. And what you remember has no business being in the present with you now. What you remember is what has happened already. And what you are is what you are. And there's a distinction between those two. In releasing yourself from that which is past, you restore yourself to that which is present. And that which is present is not past. But many of you take your past and place it into the present. And you take your past and you place it into your future. And now you've been given this great opportunity to stop doing that, to release your fear, to be present with yourself and with your fellow humans, to be present with yourself and your fellow humans in a way that you never have been before. Can you not hear how quiet the streets are? Can you not see the silence, the peace that is trying to emerge back into the consciousness of your species collectively? Can you see this? Can you feel this? Can you hear this? Can you find that place of fearlessness inside yourself once again, the place you were born into, the place all of you were born into, that beautiful, blissful silence that allows you to know and feel and be in ways that you cannot imagine with what you already know, what you've already been taught to believe, or what you fear may happen. It is time to restore humanity to its rightful harmony. This virus merely presented the opportunity for all of you in the process of seeking to solve this problem globally. And it is a global condition, a global creation, because all of you have been seeking to get past your fear. All of you have been praying to be restored to love and joy and harmony and happiness. And here is your opportunity. You collectively created this opportunity. It does not matter who did what or when. The opportunity is presented itself, and the opportunity is to find a place of harmony and joy within yourself and within your fellow humans, to interact with each other from a place of grace, care, and compassion. This virus is a very small thing, but it produced a very great opportunity. And now you find yourselves with your families, with your friends, closer than ever before, not having to do the normal things you've had to do day in and day out. Your pattern has been broken. Now you have a choice. You can return to the pattern again and go back to your old way again. Or you can ask yourselves, what is this opportunity? How can we create a new collective life for humanity on this planet? You have this opportunity now. It will not come along very often, but it is here now to collectively decide and implement processes that honor and respect the human condition, the human consciousness, and the human expression of each and every one of you, and as the whole. To find the peace and the love you have been seeking, so many of you struggling to find peace, to get away from your suffering. And here it is, the opportunity to step back from the patterns of your day-to-day life, from those ingrained behaviors, those things that you're used to day in and day out, those things that you're comfortably unhappy with. And here you are faced with the chance to release that, to decide a new way of being for yourself, a new way of being for your human family. This is your opportunity here and now. Will you take it? Will you ignore it? What will you do? What will you do in your confinement? Will you choose to feel confined? Or will you choose to quiet your mind? Will you choose to restore peace? Will you choose to connect to each other in unique and different ways? You have the opportunity to decide, do you want to go forward from this point in this expression of human consciousness with love? Or do you wish to continue going forward in your expression of human consciousness with fear? For now you can see all of the fear that was hidden is now revealed. You've seen it in your department stores. You've seen it in your grocery stores. You've seen it in your hospitals. You've seen the fear in front of all of you, for all of you to see. This is what we have all been holding on to. You can see that. And now love has the opportunity to be restored. What will you choose? Will you choose to go back to the old ways of being? Or will you utilize this opportunity to move forward with love and grace? Now, for some of you, love and grace and concepts such as these may be difficult, but anything that you will choose to do that is going to make your life feel more joyful, more empowered, more connected internally and with others is a good thing, don't you think? We came here simply to reveal to you what you have already revealed to yourselves, that you no longer need or can live from the vibrational energies of fear. You can no longer expect to survive long from a vibration of fear. Look at what it has done to these things you call your stock markets, to your monetary systems. This is all fear. This is not a manifestation of love, and it is not one country or one person or one stock or one individual. It is the collective manifestation of human unconsciousness revealing itself for all to see. And you may choose to say, oh, they are responsible or they are responsible. You are all responsible. You are all responsible for choosing to live from fear or choosing to live from love. It is a choice. It is a choice to be angry. It is a choice to be joyful. These are choices that you must become conscious of making from this point forward or not. If you choose to become conscious of making choices that align you to greater vibrations and expressions of love, then your future as a species will be vastly different than the future that's laid out for you from the perspective of fear, which you've already experienced. Those that have and those that have not, in great polarity to each other. Great political strife and social strife. That is what fear is doing. That is what your collective fear is doing. And you must learn to shift away from that paradigm back into a paradigm of love, a conscious vibrational energy of love. And it is chosen only in the moment. You can't choose it tomorrow. You don't have an opportunity tomorrow. The opportunity is right now. But what is love, you might ask? What is love to you? Love is a vibration that you can generate inside that makes you feel joy, makes you feel good. It is that which makes you perform actions that benefit your life and the lives of others whom you interact with. Fear does not do that. Fear benefits a few at the expense of many. You must understand this. You can see this on your planet today. You don't need us to tell you that, but you can see 1/7 of your population is starving. 1/7 of your population is obese and overweight and unhealthy. And everybody else is somewhere in between. And there are a few who are above and a few who are below. And you have the opportunity to change all that, to remove that polarity. You have the chance to recover your consciousness of generosity, which is a manifestation of love. This planet was created for you to share and experience and explore and delight in. Not just for some of you, for all of you. And how many of you are willing to give a little of what you have to others? And how many of you are willing to smile more often, to be kind, to be generous, to be courteous, to be respectful? How many of you? We are excited for you. For no matter what you choose, in the overall scheme of consciousness, there is no loss or gain. There's just an alteration in one's experience of being. We would ask that you consider this, that you can choose a being of joy or a being of fear. It makes not much difference to all that is what you choose, but it will make a difference to you and what you are being and what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. It is a choice. We cannot make you choose, but we can point out to you that the opportunity to make that choice is now. It may not come again. The opportunity to be close to yourself, to have time to yourself, to listen to the birds, to interact with people you have not interacted with in some time, to pick up the phone, to connect through the internet, to send love out to your planet, to appreciate and delight in what you have, to inspire others to do the same. There's not much more that can be said other than you have this opportunity. Will you take it? Or will you leave it? Will you move forward onto something new? It is reported, that the pollution in China has fallen dramatically. The pollution in China has fallen dramatically. They're hearing birds and seeing blue skies like they never have in many, many years. Such an opportunity, isn't it, for them? You see here in North America, we see people fighting in stores for toilet paper, for silly things. And because of fear. We don't need fear as a species anymore. We needed fear in a privileged state of being. We don't need it anymore. We can make a choice to have love be our dominant being. They're saying this is the real choice too. The choice is either love or fear. There's no middle ground anymore. The polarities have become so obvious now that if you ignore them, you will reap the effects of the causes that you initiate from fear, just as you will reap the effects of the causes initiated by love. And love and fear produce very different results, not only in our bodies and our minds, but they produce very different results in terms of what happens in the world around us. And that's an important thing to understand. Wow. When they first came, like I said, the energy's been really intense, and I've been working really diligently to not let my energy get caught up with theirs, because I can get really excited sometimes and get very run on very verbally. And there's so much more that they're trying to communicate. They're saying right now there's more in what you feel from what we say than what you hear that we say. There's more in what we feel in what we say than what you will hear from what we say. I think that's a very interesting point. Excuse me. It's interesting when external events happen, how they can cause us to function in a certain way unless we have full conscious control over what we're thinking and feeling. And this is really important to be able to have that choice, to be able to have conscious choice in the moment. And we've got this massive experience on the planet. And like I said, they've been saying this over and over again. This is an opportunity. This is not a catastrophe. This is not a catastrophe. This is an opportunity. Those who have gotten sick and suffered as a result of this disease had volunteered on a soul level to do this. They had volunteered to offer themselves up, to get focus away from pain and suffering, to draw attention to the fear so that we can release it from this collective unconscious. And they say it's very important you understand the mechanism. The mechanism of the virus was to open up the hidden fears within us all, within each society, within each individual, for us to be willing to look at them, face them, and release them, to release them from our body, to release them from our culture, to release them from our religions. Fear has no place in the consciousness of the modern man. Fear has no place in the consciousness of a modern humanity. Fear has no place in our consciousness anymore. We can rise above it now as individuals and as a species. Again, if we want to focus on it, we'll suffer. But they're very clear. It's time to make this shift. And I hope you pass this message out and share it with others. It's really important to understand this is the opportunity. It's not about the virus. This is about the human collective experience right now. That's why it's a global event. That's why it's gotten around so fast, because we cannot separate ourselves from each other. We can't separate ourselves from each other. In these individual bodies, we appear to be separate. But on a level of energy, on a level of spirit, we are inseparable. And we affect and influence each other individually and collectively. So what the Americans think, or the Chinese think, or the Japanese think, or the Asians, or whoever thinks whatever we collectively think and feel affects each other. And so this virus has come along and shown that collectively we have all this fear. It doesn't matter where it started or what caused it. We've got this fear inside all of us, and it's fear that causes very different effects in our lives than love. Love causes very different effects in our lives than fear. And they're very clear on this. We are able to make that distinction right now. This event was manifested collectively by us so that we can make a conscious choice again. Do we want to go forward with fear? Do we want to go forward with love? This is what this whole virus thing is about. It's not about the virus. Yes, we have to deal with that. We have to learn better hygiene. We have to evolve ourselves more, become cleaner, healthier, happier people. Absolutely. That's really important. That's another element to this virus. It reminds us how important staying clean and taking care of our bodies, being in a high vibrational state is. There are just so many opportunities here. Be healthy, eat well, take care of your body, take care of others. Just the simple act of drinking proper water, just the simple act of eating proper food, just a simple act of operating in such a way that we environmentally impact this planet in a way that's beneficial to minimize the negative effects and maximize the positive. Planting trees is awesome. Learning how to create homes that are in harmony with nature, really important. And we've created this opportunity to stop, look, and listen at what we're doing as a species. Stop, look, and listen to what we're doing to the planet. To stop, look, and listen to what we're doing with ourselves, and to make different choices now. I walk down the streets here in Toronto, and I got to tell you, I'm hearing birds like I've never heard birds before. There's a silence and a quiet energy in the city. There's a pace in the city that's not that hurried, frenetic pace that's normally here. And I can't help but thinking, can we not learn to live and be like that? Can we all not learn, as the Buddha said, to chop wood and carry water, to be in the present moment, to be here and now in a state of being and grace? Yes, I understand. Thank you. Now, we're going to do a slight meditation in a minute, but before we do that, again, their message was far more important than anything else, that we understand that this was an opportunity we collectively created. We all created this. We all conspired to liberate ourselves from our fear as a species. we conspired to liberate ourselves from our fear as a species. Because an animal in a state of fear can only do certain things. Well, humanity in a state of fear can only accomplish certain things. In a state of love, humanity can accomplish something very, very, very different. They're telling me right now, do not worry about the billion strong today at noon, as the love that has been generated through these intentions is affecting all of you simultaneously, as this does too. Very important to understand that here we are together here, all of us. Questions and concerns. Let's see what we've got going on today. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Angie. Hi, Deirdre. Christine, Moonlight. Questions. Yes, that's really wonderful, Sin, to do that, sending love to all life. Yes, the divine they're just calling themselves a divine collective. I usually have the divine collective of light, but they call themselves a divine collective. So I don't know who they are individually, just that they are a divine collective. And basically the message is to be reminded that this was an opportunity for humanity to identify and release its collective unconscious fear, which is what we've inherited. Think about all the wars we fought in the past and all the suffering that created. We still carry that in our collective unconscious. We carry the anger, the resentment, the guilt, the shames of all of our behaviors from our past. And that results in expressions held on to, which we do. A lot of us hold on to, we still hold on to the pain and suffering from wars that happened 150 years ago. People are still carrying around the pain and the suffering from that. In our psyche, all of us, we carry that around. And when we start to release that past pain, we start to release the past, we move into the present. And their goal here was to remind us that we've just created this opportunity to release all of our fear and have the opportunity to make a choice to restore, to operate from and live from love. That was the general message that they brought through. Again, because of the error that happened with Be Live this morning, I got on about 5 minutes late and it reset itself. So the title of this today and the event didn't get loaded the same way it normally would. So I apologize for that. Yes, thank you very much, Christine, for saying that. That's right. Renata, I want to know too, because when I get the message that he is on, it's already running for a time, already missed the beginning. Okay, Renati, I will look into that. There might be a lag between systems too, because the interface from Be Live to YouTube changes. Again, it's a system. I'm still getting used to the process and the format because it's a brand new way of being. This is only our 14th live show. We're getting most of the bugs worked out, like sound and stuff. It'll get better as we go forward. Hi, John. Hi, Victorious. Yes, stay hydrated, very important. That's correct. Yes, that's wonderful, Boy Page. Yeah, I'm hearing birds in numbers I've never heard them before in downtown Toronto. We're literally right in the core of downtown Toronto. So it's nice to walk out in the street and actually hear all the birds, the cardinals, the hawks flying overhead screeching. It's very, very fascinating. We'll get to that in a moment. They're saying they're not doing personal messages today. They will address those things that you may wish to know, that you might require to release yourself from your fear. If there are areas of fear in your life that you wish to be liberated from, other than the collective fear, this would be a good consideration, how to release your fear. We'd be more than happy to assist you with that. But this is not for anything other than understanding that your humanity has an opportunity to come together and is coming together in a way it has not in many, many centuries. All countries uniting, even though their political differences seem obvious and marked, There is a unity in consciousness that's happening, and politics and religion cannot stop that process. Yes, they're saying yes. As long as you go forth in love, if you do this work, you must go forth in a vibrational frequency of love. That's for you, Bo Page. Good morning, Terry. Hi, Jade. Jade, they're saying the same thing. The message for all is to return yourself to love. Return your actions, your words, your thoughts back to love. Return your thoughts, your words, and your actions back to love. Turn away from your fears. Turn away from your fears. Turn to love. It is love that is driving the human effort to overcome this condition that you call a viral infection. It is the desire for wholeness and healing that drives the actions. And those actions, regardless of political conditions, are universal right now. And what will you go back to? Will you go back to the old model when this event passes, or will you say, let's keep this going? Many of you will go back to the old model, but you have an opportunity. Even as individuals, you do not have to go back to your old model. So focus on going forward deliberately and consciously in love. This is the Ascension movement. The Ascension is about restoring yourself to love. And from that vibrational frequency of love, you are liberated. You are liberated from what many of you call your three-dimensional selves, which is what we would call your past selves, the remembered self that continually gets reimposed onto who you are in the present moment. Great question. Renati's asking, I'm aware that I'm a big controller. How is the best way to release that? They're saying when you find yourself in the energy of that, stop. Stop. What do you mean by stop? Stop the action that you are performing that is based in that energy of controlling, which is ultimately fear that something is not going to come out as you would like it to. If you go back into the energy of what would love think and say and do, how would love do this? How would love think about this? Then you will find a very different unfolding in your process. You'll see things happen very differently from that process. And this too can be a universal application to identify the behaviors and thoughts that no longer represent love, but represent fear, and to make the choice to not engage in them, to refuse to allow your body to go in that direction, to refuse to allow your mind to think in that direction, to keep it still and quiet until it is still and quiet, and then go forward from a conscious and deliberate process and vibration of love. Oh, you're welcome, Terry. What is the best way to help people get over traumas that get triggered automatically without conscious awareness? First, the individual must be aware that they are in the emotional energy that's a result of the trauma, which would be usually fear or sadness or depression. To get them to alter their thoughts, to begin to deliberately release the trauma from their mind. We have found often that breathing is the most useful tool while you're in that physical body. Breathing gives your soul immediate and deliberate control over your biology. And once you assume authority and control all over your biology, you then are in the position to assume authority over your thoughts. But for many of you, in fact, we would say the majority of you, this would take some effort to restore your mastery over this thing called your mind and this thing called your body. For many of you are caught up in the sensation of your senses to such a degree and extent that your judgment has become clouded in terms of choices of action. You are so caught up in the sensations that you've forgotten how to reason or think or make a choice consciously. It is what makes this condition called addiction so prevalent on your planet. People are lost in the sensation of their senses, forgetting that the senses must obey them. This body in which you find yourself is an instrument that was given for you to utilize, not to be subjective to. But very few of you have been taught to understand that you are the master of this temple. So when this mechanism gets a sensation that makes it feel good, the body wants to go to that which makes it feel good, even if that which makes it feel good is going to make it feel bad. So you will do your drugs or your alcohol, your caffeine, or those things that harm your body. But the sensation of it makes your body feel good, even though it causes detrimental effects. Processed sugars, all of these things. You must come to the place where you decide, no, I will not let this body's senses and the desire for certain sensations to govern what I know to be right and good for it. You must learn to train your body to be your servant again. Train your mind to be your servant again. From our perspective, this is very simple. For some of you that are engaged very deeply in the sensations, it will be somewhat harder. But there is none of you that cannot accomplish this. You see thousands, if not millions, of instances every day where individuals overcome their addictions, or they overcome their bad habits, or they overcome their pain and suffering. Everyone can do this. There is no one exempt. There is no one more special than another in this physical dimension. You may overcome any negative habit strictly by asserting your conscious authority over your mind and body. But your mind and body is like an unruly child sometimes. It says, no, I want it, I need it, I want it. And you listen to this little child that's supposed to be your servant, and you cater to its senses. Your senses are there to allow you to delight in this world, not to be subjective to it. Wow. Was coronavirus a bioweapon made in China that got out accidentally? Moon. You have to understand there are no accidents in the creation. Everything is created. This opportunity was created by your collective consciousness. You may indicate that it is one or another, or that lab, or that person, or that professor, or that person, or that place. You may choose to do that route or go that way, but you limit yourself and restrict yourself to a very small point of understanding. What is happening on your world at this moment is a collective and global event because everyone is involved. You have all conspired to bring this opportunity forward. We cannot say it any clearer than that. You have all conspired to bring this opportunity forward. The mechanisms by which that occurred are academic. What is important is that you collectively created this out. You brought this forth for your experience to become conscious of that which has been running your lives for decades, if not centuries, running you again into madness, into craziness, into fear, into fighting, into hating. And now it's all up in the open. All of your fear to be released and healed. It was a collective event. And some of you may say, no, it was them. It was them. It was all of you desiring to release your fear and restore love. This is what the Ascension movement has been, to restore humanity to a higher vibrational frequency of consciousness, which is love. Love is an ascension in consciousness from fear. If you understand this, then any fear you have, release it, let it go. Do not let your words and your deeds be governed by fear. Let your words and your deeds be governed by conscious choices of love and compassion and kindness. It's easy for us to say this, but you have to do it. All of you must choose this. You all chose to create this event. Now you must also choose to create more love in your world. And you know the difference, for we've seen how many of you are responding to the blue skies where there were no blue skies before, and the sounds of animals and birds that you have not seen in many years. The world is waiting to welcome you back into its harmony, into its love, into its joy. Will you answer the call? It is a decision that must be made by each of you and all of you at the same time. It is a process and a decision. Thank you. That is a great question, Moon. Christine is saying, I was walking from the shop today where I had all my fears come out and repeating to myself, I surrender to the divine plan. That's a beautiful way to do that, Christine. I know for me personally, as William, when something triggers my fear, I recognize, first of all, there's usually a physiological reaction. When there's a negative emotional charge, anything in the fear spectrum will cause a behavior. All emotion causes behavior. So if something triggers a fear, or you think of something that triggers fear, your biology will react to it. The first step I do is, as I catch the biology, I'll notice certain muscle groups or certain tension, or my breathing gets tighter or shallower if something triggers something, and immediately I'll relax the body. Step one, breathe, relax the body, immediately release the energy from the body. Once you remember, if you're in a state of anger, right, or a state of joy, your biology does very specific things. So the first thing to do is get the body into a state of relaxation. Stop, breathe, relax, let go, release the tension in the body. The minute you do that, the emotion that's trying to take over gets stopped. You're stopping it. You're literally saying to the body, no, we're not going to go into that state. And when you're doing that simultaneously, that choice causes the mind to focus similarly. Suddenly the mind starts to get quiet. And if there's lots of thoughts there, if there's more thoughts going on, I release them. If there's thoughts like, but that person honked at me really loud, he shouldn't do that. No, stop, relax, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I send love and grace to that person. And again, it's a process. That's what I do. So I always catch the body, relax the body first. If there's strong emotions, like if somebody startles me and when they beep their horn at me and I find my body startled like that, I stop, breathe, relax. And if any thoughts come up like you shouldn't have honked or that's annoying, I let that go too. I said, no, thank you. I love you. And you learn to shift in the moment what's going on. Remember, your body is your servant. It's not meant to be your master. But many of us have been trained to think our body is who we are. It's not who you are. Your body is not who you are. It's an instrument that you use. It's not you. As you get to that place where you understand that, you then assume authority over it. Oh, my body wants to drink that bottle of alcohol and because it makes me feel a certain way. The body feels a certain way chemically when you drink that alcohol. Assume authority over it. Say, no, we're not going to treat you that way. Instead of drinking alcohol, I'm going to drink water. You know, you'd be surprised how many people are chronically dehydrated that drink alcohol and caffeine in large amounts. How many people drink some people drink 8-10 cups of coffee a day, not just to get this artificial stimulant from the caffeine, but their body's needing water. The problem with drinking that much coffee is it's diuretic. It takes water out of the system, dehydrates the body more. So you have to have more coffee to bring your energy up. When you get a desire for coffee, drink water. I don't drink coffee. I know what it does to the body. I choose water instead, keep the body properly hydrated. So that's basically what I do. I literally stop the body first, breathe it, relax it, bring myself back into the present moment, and then I turn my attention to any thoughts that might be related to the event, and I just let them go. Quiet, relaxed, calm, peaceful. And it took me some time to practice it, and will take. For some of you, it will be harder to do it in the beginning than others, but if you keep doing it, it's like anything else. The body will learn to remember what you're teaching it to do, just as it learned to drink. Like I was an alcoholic many years ago. Just as my body learned to drink alcohol, now it drinks water instead. I had to teach the body to do that. You have to teach your body new things, right? It's been taught a certain way. You've got to teach it a new way. We've got about 4 minutes left. Thank you. Sonny, that's a very, very, very good question. What's going to happen to our global economy? Again, let me ask them. They're laughing and they're saying, this is not about a global economy. This is about your willingness to work together. You have all of the resources at your disposal right now to ameliorate any and all suffering. You have that at your disposal right now as a species. The question we have for you is, are you willing to take the actions necessary to support each other in your times of need? It's easy to say and much more effective to do, but none of you should have to suffer. And those of you that are willing to give what you may, change your lifestyles, change the way you live, there will be no economic downturn. There will be effects, but you've been so caught up in the pleasure of what you can get, you have forgotten, so many of you, how to give. And your opportunity again is here on a grander scale than ever before. You have the opportunity again to give, for we can assure you, as you have done so in many times past, if you do not learn this lesson, it will be repeated. If you do not learn how to love, then you will learn through fear again. Pain becomes the model, the default setting, if you like, of your expression, if you are unable to consciously and deliberately function from a perspective of love. Yes. So there's a lot of economic transformation on the planet. Again, they're telling me these are all opportunities. If we keep seeing it, what's going to go wrong, then we're going to create an event that's going to go wrong. We have a collective opportunity as a global community to work with and support each other, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. We have the opportunity to do that. We are a collective consciousness. We are not a separated organism. Yes, we have different countries and different species of humans, but we're all a human family with different attributes. And all the attributes we have, whether we're red, white, black, yellow, blue, green, all of our attributes we each have different skill sets. Our different species of humans have different skill sets that were designed originally to help make the whole thing work together. Just as nature, if you look out in the forest, the way the trees work and the birds work and the animals work, there's an organic economy that happens with them. An organic economy that happens in nature that humanity has within its own makeup that we have not yet utilized and leveraged yet. So we're at that place in consciousness again where we get to choose, how will we work together? What can we do to elevate all of us into a state of love and joy? What's needed? And yes, we have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to have a roof over our head. There's fundamental things that we all need. And this is an opportunity. And again, everybody can choose to see this as an opportunity to be afraid, or for what it really is, the opportunity to really understand it's time to release all our fear, to not live from that model anymore. Doctors, nurses, medical systems all over the planet are mobilized to heal. It's a mechanism designed to help humanity heal, right? And what is love? Love is a form that heals. Social and economics is the same process from what they've told me. It's the same thing. Are you willing to give? Are those that have more willing to give to those who have less? And giving, why would you think that giving would mean that you would have less? If those around you are all happy, then there would be no fear, right? But you have this opportunity. Good question. Thank you. Angie's asking, do you mean it was our higher selves that collectively brought this virus forward? Yes, and I'm going to say for myself, yes and no. They're just saying emphatically yes. You collectively decided that it was time to release fear from your material expression of being, that it is time to now experience the expressions of your love in this material realm. But I say yes to that, but I also say on an individual level, no, not everybody chose to individually create this virus. I would never choose to be sick. Nobody would consciously choose to be sick, but from a collective consciousness process, which is a unified whole, right? Which is greater than the sum of its parts. We made that decision that we needed to find a way to move out of our fear-based expression as a species into a love-based expression as a species, right? Very important. Thank you. Great question. Um, thank you for that question. Will this virus take down vile people like we keep hearing? They're saying it's interesting your choice of words, but we would have rather said that those that are, as you say, removed from this virus are those that offered themselves up as evidence that suffering is not something you would wish to have anymore. In addition to that, those who have chosen not to live from expressions of love and have chosen to align themselves to greater expressions of fear are the ones that will suffer the most. Those who live from fear will suffer the most. Those who do not honor and respect the divine temple and all that it contains will suffer. And I'm interpreting that what they just said to mean that if you're not keeping your body healthy and happy, if you're not taking care of it, you're more susceptible to a virus. Viruses are a frequency, just as health is a frequency, joy is a frequency, fear is a frequency. And if you're in a low vibrational state, you're more likely to connect to that vibration. Somebody can be very healthy physically, but if they're afraid of getting something, if they're afraid that's going to happen, they're more likely to produce that because the vibration of fear puts them in harmony with that which is like itself. Just as love puts itself in harmony with that which is like itself. Cool. I keep hearing a bird call of late that I've never heard before. Are new species appearing? Is this? There have been new species. They're laughing at you. They're saying there have been new species coming and going on your planet every single day. This is your opportunity to and delight once again in nature's harmony, in nature's beauty. For you, humanity, are that part of that beauty too. But you must remember that, and you must choose that. But yes, I've noticed lots of new bird sounds too. Bope, is the sun whiter than it used to be? The sun seems different now, and a true healer since we have, yes, the sun is doing a lot of healing work, a lot of gamma and cosmic radiation. People don't understand how this ascension process vibrationally is working. And remember, emotionally, humanity is affecting everything around itself. When you're in a certain emotional state, you're putting a vibration around your body, and that vibration around your body goes out. You know, if you got somebody jumping up and down, singing and laughing, you feel good, right? You got somebody who's crying and in tears and suffering, you feel bad. All emotion is energy in motion, and you want to learn to become a master of that. They tell me that all the time. Most humans don't understand that their emotion is the spiritual force that they need to create experiences, and most humans misuse that. They tend to align themselves to the negative energies and create negative experiences, and it's not very pleasant for many of you. Let's see here. You're welcome, Christine. You're welcome. Is there anything I can do to keep myself? Kate's asking, my energies get knocked by circumstance. Is there anything I can do to keep myself from my energies being disturbed? They're saying you must learn to become more detached from that which is external to yourself and recognize that that which is external to yourself is what is internal to yourself. Go within your being, go within your mind and body, and release the disturbances from within you, and you will see those disturbances dissipate from around you. Release the disturbance from within, and that which is without shall match it. You cannot separate your inner experience with your outer experience. They're one and the same, but you always have choice over what is going on within you, and that in turn affects always what is going on around you. We're saying we would recommend you just move a little more slowly and be more patient in terms of what you will choose to focus your attention on. Become more conscious and deliberate about where your attention goes, especially internally. They just threw that in, especially internally. Just about done here, folks. What can we, Angie, what can we do as a society to ensure we don't fall back into our old patterns like we did after we initially came together in responding to 9/11? Do we have any advantage to this time around? Is there any advantage this time around? The advantage is that every one of you is aware of this. There is not one single soul on this planet that is not aware of this opportunity. How each of you choose to view it is going to determine where you will go from here. If you wish to point fingers and blame, then that will take you back to your old model. If you choose to see this as an opportunity to elevate the quality of your life as a species, not just the life of one country or another, but the lives of all humanity have the opportunity now to be elevated physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually by this. The choice is yours. You may go forward, you may go back. The choice is always yours. Listen to your own hearts. Communicate to your politicians your desire to work more harmoniously with others. Get different governments to stop competing with each other and recognize you are one family here. Interesting. Hi, Dan. And yes. Anyway, I want to thank a divine collector, because that's what they call themselves today, a divine collective. And I want to thank them for coming here today. And I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I apologize for getting on a bit late. One of the things I've been learning is that outside things should not determine what we do internally. We really have to get to a place where we're outside things. We recognize our effects of what we're thinking, feeling, and believing internally. And that's not just true on an individual scale, that's true on a global scale, how we feel overall as a human collective. And the symptoms of individuality are different than the collective individuality, and they're different experiences. One works for the good of the whole, the other works for the individual self. And it's time we end that. It's time we end this divisive mindset on the planet today and move to a state of unity. So the opportunity is here now. The opportunity is right now. One humanity working as a divine whole for the betterment of everybody. And a lot of people are afraid that, I'm going to lose my individuality. I'm going to lose my rights. I'm going to lose my country. But this whole planet is ours. This whole planet is all of ours. It was made for us to experience being together. You didn't make this planet to be separate from somebody. Otherwise, you would have made a planet by yourself. We made this planet to be together. Look at nature. They're saying this. Please look at nature and how well nature works together. You would do well to learn from nature as a species, to learn how you may work well. Understand your unique attributes, the different species of humans, and your unique attributes. Pool them together, work as one, and you will know the love that you seek as a whole. Thank you. On that note, I'm going to end this. I want to say to everybody, thank you so much for joining today. Please, please, please have a wonderful, joyful day, and I will see you next Saturday. Much love. Bye for now.